Supporting student responses, prompting. Skills that a student is just learning and has not yet mastered are called acquisition skills. At this phase, we want the student to avoid mistakes. We provide assistance so that he or she makes correct responses. This is called errorless learning. We use a system of prompting and then reducing prompts to achieve this. There are several prompt and prompt fading systems. We prefer simultaneous prompting because it is easy to learn. It is research-based for students with disabilities in large and small group instruction. It is the least complex system to use when teaching a small group. It allows the instructor to separate the instruction from the data collection. In simultaneous prompting, as soon as the instructor gives the cue, he or she will immediately, simultaneously, give a controlling prompt. A controlling prompt is the smallest prompt that will ensure a correct response. Some types of prompts that can be controlling prompts are full physical, partial physical, full verbal, partial verbal, gesture, spatial, pictorial, textual, object. For more information on prompting, please go to the link for this module.
So when students are using or developing a skill for the first time, they move through different phases of learning. They first acquire the skill, they build it till it's fluent, then they generalize it to another setting, and then they maintain that skill. A teacher comes back in to make sure that they're still practicing the skill, they still have the skill even months after. And for some students it's going to take multiple times. For some students it's going to take hundreds of times in that first acquisition. So where simultaneous prompting fits really nicely is in developing errorless learning in that acquisition phase. So a student learning the alphabet or numbers for the first time, the more they practice it correctly before they move on and start using it in a performance setting, the more likely they are going to have it, build it fluently, be able to recall it independently, and just be really solid with the skill before they move on. So simultaneous prompting is not something you would necessarily do as they're generalizing that skill or maintaining that skill. You certainly wouldn't want to give them the answer or do a 0-second time delay as they're trying to get that skill out into a performance setting. This is really for that initial phase of learning when they're acquiring the skill.
Simultaneous prompting has been really effective in my classroom because it's errorless learning. And so the opportunities to respond are increased and they're not making errors. So those, of course, we know are the things that really teach students, is to be able to respond numerous times and always with the correct answer. They're just going to learn faster. And we've been able to teach some things that I think would have been very difficult to teach otherwise, and been able to incorporate that into groups rather than individuals. And it's just been a really good thing in our classroom. I think that a lot of times we just naturally do simultaneous prompting because that wait time is not always easy for us. So it's our natural inclination to just say the answer quickly, and that's basically what you're doing. It's easy to teach your paraeducators to use simultaneous prompting because it is so natural. It's just saying the answer more quickly than you would. Sometimes I think that waiting process is something that we don't do very well, and so it's just natural. But the other really good thing about simultaneous prompting is that paraeducators and teachers are not scrambling to take the data as they're trying to teach, that there is a time set aside for taking of data, and so it's a whole lot easier for paras and teachers to do. Simultaneous prompting is used for acquisition skills, not for maintenance skills. They already have this skill, so the errorless learning and the opportunities to respond are not as important as when you're doing acquisition skills, teaching acquisition skills. During a probe session, when we take data, when we've done simultaneous prompting, other students are given a task to do that may or may not be relevant to the task that they were doing. That allows you to focus one-on-one and take data on one student, and then you can let them do whatever everyone else is doing, go to the next student, go to the next student, go to the next student, and get your data that's not tainted by any.
Remember, simultaneous prompting or any other prompting is used with skills the student is still learning, acquisition skills, or with error correction. Skills that are already mastered are review skills. It is recommended that you present about half acquisition and half review tasks to your students. This has been found to keep student motivation high. Here are some examples
What
of
word?
prompting.
Let's all do it together. Say gal.
Gal.
Say gal.
Gal.
Reverse the first and last sounds. Lag. Okay, and say bat.
Bad.
Say bat.
Bad.
Reverse the first and last sounds in bat. Tab. You got it. That's right. Okay. Would you?
The first thing that we're going to do is talk about our colors. So, everybody put your finger up in the air. Good job. Everybody touch blue. Jane, where's blue? Blue. Oh, good job. Finger up in the air. On. Touch. Oh, we're going to do it again. Find. On. Touch. On. Good job. Press it hard. Get it? Okay, finger up. Find, add, touch, add. Nice job, everybody. Push it hard. There you go, finger up. Okay. Find, Dallas, thank you. Find equals, touch equals. Good job. Nice, fingers up. Okay. Okay, now we're going to start the hard part. You ready?
You bet.
You bet.
Of course, I'll be happy to. Mrs. Buck.
Okay,
Wait, Mrs. Buck.
are you ready?
Yes.
Okay,
ready.
fingers up.
Ow.
Oh, we're going to do something first. Touch clear.
Oh, I thought you
Touch clear. Whoops.
I
Yep,
touched
Mrs. Bug
clear.
did that wrong. Let's do it again. Ready? Find clear. Touch clear. Nice. Okay, fingers back up. Find 7. Touch 7. Excellent job. Fingers up. Find, add, touch, add. Perfect. Fingers up. Look at the top of your calculator and tell me what number you have. Everybody? 7. Nice. Okay. Find 6. Touch 6. Good job. Everybody's fingers up. Good job. Everybody look at your calculator. What number do you have? Everybody? 6. Good job. Find equals, touch equals. Fingers up. Okay, I want you to look at your calculators. What is your answer, everybody?
13.
Woohoo! That was excellent.
Now it's your turn. I want to hear you all touch the sounds that make up the word fan. Okay, I want everyone to start on the color green. Get your finger on the color green.
Prompt activity. Demonstrate different kinds of prompts that might be used in your classroom. Practice giving acquisition and review tasks. Use simultaneous prompting for the acquisition tasks.